All right, we're going to start here. So I'm going to talk about our first lesson with the equations. This is awkward.
Yeah.
But there you go. That makes it better, right? Okay.
No.
So what we're going to do, guys, is there is a key phrase I'm going to use a ton for this lesson. Keep the equation balanced. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. All right, so I have two young ladies, and we're going to pretend, guys, and no comments on this, that these two ladies are exactly the same weight. Okay, we're just going to say same weight. All right, we're not going to say anything else about that.
You should pick something else.
Shh, Henry, I just said we're not going to say anything. Okay, but anyway, what we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to be your balance, and we're going to pretend that Camille's on this side and Sel's on this side, and if they're equally weighted, then that means I am balanced, right? So I'm like this, right? I'm balanced. Now, something I want you to do on these problems, every single one of these problems, is you're going to keep this balanced. So Reese and Sammy, this is what I want you to do. First, Reese, come up here and give Camille, don't knock down Swivel. Come up here and give Camille your book. Now watch what happens to the balance beam. Okay, what happened to me?
You moved.
I moved toward Camille because she is now heavier. Now, Sammy, come. And then what happened to me now?
Balance.
I got back to balance, right? When you add the same thing to both sides of a balance beam, the same thing to both sides, what happens to that balance beam? It stays equal. Balance. Okay, good. Now, Sammy and Reese, you thought you were done. Reese, come up and take away this book. Watch the balance beam.
Don't hit yourself.
Okay, what happened to me when Reese took Camille's book? I was in balance now. I moved. I'm more toward Stella's side, and then, yep, Sammy, you already know what to do, because this is kind of awkward to stand like this. Okay, then what happens to me, guys? I get balanced. All right, listen, here's the second key. If I take away the same thing from both of them, I stay balanced. Do you guys understand that? You girls did so well. You can go back to your seats. So well. No, it's all right, girls. It's all right. Swivel. Here we go, Swivel. Boom. All right, right here. All right. All right, girls, thank you for doing that. You did so well. I don't think I could do that better than you girls. You held those books with good grip. Okay, anyway. The whole point of it, guys, this is what I want you to do on your lesson. Every single problem, you're going to keep both sides balanced. That's the key. Okay, so here's our first equation. And I'm going to show us. Yeah. I think I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it. It's good. Okay, let's go with this one right here. A plus 1.2 is equal to 5.7. All right, I don't want the answer. In fact, I'm going to give you a little disclaimer. Swivel, you with me? Follow me. Rant time. Okay, math rants. That's what we'll call them. Here's my rant. Some of you are going to look at these problems and you're going to say, Mr. A, I could do these problems and I could do it a lot quicker than you did it. I agree. I'm not going to disagree with that. Thank you. But the way you're going to solve it is like a 5th and 6th grader would solve it, which is pretty good. I mean, fine, you got the right answer. It's cool. But it's like a 5th and 6th grader would solve it. I want you guys not to solve it like 5th and 6th graders because you're 7th graders. You need to solve it like an Algebra 1 student. An 8th grader or 9th grader, depending on when you take that. So I want you guys to solve it in a more complicated way. And you're like, why would I want to do that? Because I'm prepping you up, and I had this equation up on the board. Very complex, multi-step problem. But you solve it the same way you do the simple one if you do the simple one with algebra. If you try to do this in your head, actually, someone that I didn't know of until the end was trying to solve it. He was doing stuff. Showing work. It's wrong. You didn't do it algebraically, so you can't be right. Not even the number's off. So I don't want you to solve these in your head because you can't. So let's start with the simple ones. Don't do it in your head. I want you to solve it the way we do it. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Question before we move on.
It's not a question, it's how to do it.
Okay, yeah, great question. All right. How do I do it?
Can I tell you?
Not yet. Do you guys realize that this is an equation? How do you know it's an equation? That's simple. Equal sign. All right. If there's an equal sign, guys, there's two sides to this equation. I got my first side, I have my second side. And it is a balanced equation. That means the left side is equal to the right side. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
They are both balanced. If I take away something from this side, what must I do to this side to keep it balanced? Take away the same thing. If I add to this side, what must I do to the other side? Add. The same thing. Okay, so here's how we're going to solve it. Okay, so I got my two sides here. Look for the variable a. Okay, you found it? That's your first step, by the way. Find the variable. Got first step down. Then you have to ask, what is happening to a on its side? So on this left side, what's happening to a? Just tell me it's being something. Yes.
Being added.
With?
1.2.
Okay, do you guys agree it's being added with 1.2?
Yeah.
Straightforward, right? You guys all get that. What undoes adding of 1.2? Please say it correctly. Yes, ma'am? Madison? Subtracting 1.2, right? Do you guys agree? If I want to undo adding of 1.2, I have to subtract 1.2. All right, ready? So here's your next step. Subtract 1.2. But if I had a balanced equation and I took away 1.2 from one side, what must I do from the other?
Take away 1.2.
I'm going to take away 1.2 from that side as well. I got to do it to both sides. And now I am balanced. That's algebra. Like, Mr. A, you don't have to do that. If you want to solve it algebraically, you do. Because if you don't, you get this kind of awkward movement. Yeah, that's not. I'm going to stay balanced. Balance is good, by the way, in lots of respects. Okay, hold on. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to put a little bar here because I want to show you that that's our first algebraic step. Okay, ready? What's 1.2 minus 1.2?
0.
0. You guys agree with that? Okay. So I got this is 0. This is no longer 1.2 and minus 1.2. It's 0. And what's 0 plus a?
0. A.
0 plus a is a. Two properties, guys. Two properties were applied there that you may have not seen. Okay, let's go with the easier one. What's any number plus 0? That same number, right? Which property is that? Identity. Good, good. That's a plus 0. But the other property was this. What's 1.2 minus 1.2? It's the inverse property of addition. A number plus its opposite. I thought that was minus. Well, subtraction can be an addition problem. So both properties. Okay. But what's 5.7 minus 1.2?
4.5.
4.5. That would be your solution. Okay, now, save your breath. Mr. A, Mr. A, I could have done that with one little calculation. I would have just done that and that. Got it. That's cool, guys. But that's how 5th and 6th graders solve it. How do I want 7th, 8th, and 9th graders to solve it? With algebra. You got to keep that concept down, Mr. A. But that's harder because you had to write negative 1.2 right there, and that's just like that's a lot to write, Mr. A. Come on, I'm a 7th grader. Sorry, is all I can say. Okay, but you're gonna do it because I want you to solve it algebraically. Oh my, Henry.
So this is just isolating the variable.
Yes, the whole goal is to get this variable all by itself, which is by definition isolation. Okay, yes. See?
I thought we were supposed to make math problems easier.
We are.
That is making
This
it.
is making it easier for future
Couldn't we just
problems.
learn that for those problems and keep it the 5th and 6th grade way?
You could, totally. But what's going to happen is your 5th and 6th grade methods and skills are going to get confused with these unless you get it down now. Like if you wait till later, you're like, but I could do it, and you can't. This is too hard. So let's do it this way, and I require you to do it this way. So please don't have, so that's a hard way to start a question. Can I just? Probably not. So if you're going to start with can I just, please don't ask. Yes.
My friend that goes to another school said that, because she's in 9th grade, and she said that if you keep your 5th and 6th, because that's what she did, she kept her 5th and 6th until 9th grade, and it actually makes the problems harder to do in high school because it takes more steps to do it.
Yeah, and you're kind of like thinking this, I want to think like, no. So let's transition. We're on the bridge, and we're getting over to algebra. You may, yes. Can I just get a tissue? I'm glad you didn't just say that. Okay, yes, ma'am.
I believe we learned this last.
Awesome. So this is not you. Okay, yes. Stella, back there.
She's about to say. Don't know.
Let's go with Camille.
So why do we learn the fifth and sixth grade in first place?
What happens is when you're that age, this stuff is a little more complicated. Some of you could have probably handled it, some of you couldn't. So we're going to teach you that way. And then we're going to say, wait, you know what? We're going to keep this balancing act going, and you're ready for it. You're ready for algebra. Like, I wouldn't teach an algebra necessarily to a fifth grader, because even though it's not hard stuff for what I taught them, their minds are kind of like, wait, why do you have letters? Why do you keep putting letters? Like, they can't get over that. So you're ready. You're ready for it now. Yes. If you weren't already ready.
This is just logic from Stella.
Uh-oh. Wait. Did people pay for this? Okay, go ahead. Because I don't have cash on me right now. Sorry. And I haven't been monetized yet. Okay, go ahead.
What the? YouTube. Yes. For people who like aren't getting part of this or whatever, is it the A 4.5 and then a 1.2 whatever and then equals actually 7?
Yes.
If you do,
That's correct. I agree. Affirmative. True.
okay, maybe y'all got this. Maybe I'm late.
Welcome, Stella. This is fourth hour. I'm late now.
Mine is 1.2, and then you do the other ones, they cancel out, so then you're left with 4.5, and then you end up with 4.5.
That's exactly what we studied.
I get it. She's testing me. I get it. Let's go with this problem. I'm going to step it up a little bit. S plus negative 29 is equal to 46. Okay, let's walk through this again, guys. If you didn't get the first time, I mean, it's the first time. I know I did not get this the first time. Like, I could just think back middle school stuff. I did not get it. Maybe I didn't listen. Maybe I just didn't understand. It's okay. We get it as we go. So, second time now. I'm looking at the variable. I'm like, okay, S. It is on one side, so I identified it. Oh, cool, I found it. That's good. That's the first step. Second step, tell me what's happening to S. And there are two, you can call, it's one thing happening to S, but you can call it two things. You kind of call it two things. Maybe some of you can see it both ways. Maybe some of you can see it a different way. Okay, Colin?
It's being added by negative 29.
Okay, it's being added with negative 29. Do you guys agree with that? Yeah. Okay, now, what undoes adding of negative 29? Subtracting negative 29.
So it's subtracting.
Oh, that's like subtract. Okay, hold on.
Can't you just add positive 29?
Okay, there are two reasons why. Yes, you're always allowed to do something to both sides. But here, let's look at it this way: stay, change, opposite. Isn't that what it is? You guys see it? Stay, change. What's the opposite of negative 29? Positive 29. Okay, that's the equation. It's the same thing. Okay. So what's happening to S? Maybe a little bit clearer here. It's being subtracted by 29, right? Do you guys agree? Subtracted by 29. What undoes subtracting 29? What undoes? Yeah. Adding what though? 29. So I'm going to add 29 to both sides. Okay. What's negative 29 plus 29?
0.
That's the inverse property. What's S plus 0? That's the identity property. Okay, and then 46 plus 29?
75.
All right, S equals 75. That's algebra. Now, time out. You didn't have to see this as subtraction. You could have just looked at it from the beginning, but this I want. Okay, you guys get this step? Yeah. Okay, but I want to look at it, because maybe some of you are like, I didn't know. You can just change it. Okay. If you're adding negative 29, you still ask the same thing. What undoes adding of negative 29? Ready? Adding of negative 29? Add 29. Okay, you're like, wait. How does that work? Ready, guys? Ready? What's negative 29 plus 29?
0.
It's still 0. What's s plus 0? And then that's same answer. The same thing. Guys, I'm trying to tell you right now. Remember how I said subtracting is adding the opposite? Do you guys remember that? So we did it adding the opposite. We did one way, and we also did it by subtracting. It's the same problem. Sorry. Yes, Daylin, because she had her hand up for a while.
So you know how, like, in subtraction, we did, like, keep the sign of the bigger number? If you're doing 29 minus negative 29, oh, wait, never mind. I'm really stupid.
No, that's okay. You thought it through talking out loud. That's fine. Yep.
Okay, so can you just find a way to make that 0?
Yeah, you're trying to make this equal 0. Yeah.
So you don't really have to do all that work. You can just find a way to make it 0, right?
How would you make it 0 without that work?
Because looking at it, I know if you plus positive 29 to that, that'll equal 0.
Awesome.
So I don't have to do the state change opposite thing.
You didn't have to. Yeah, this is without doing state change opposite, or you could have done state change opposite. Yeah.
How do you know if you're adding 29 to 46 or subtracting?
That's why I have to put my sign.
No, but how do you know that you're
Great question. If I'm gonna do something here, what'd you say to do? Add 29. So I put plus 29. So I just have to do it again to that side.
Okay.
Got to do the same thing. If you added 29 and subtracted 29, this is what your balance beam does. I'm going to add 29. Then I'm going to subtract 29. Right? Because then you're way unbalanced. You got to do the same thing to both sides. Good question. Yes, ma'am. Can you wait a little bit? Because I want to make sure you're good on this. Okay. Here's the next one. A minus negative 9.2 is equal to, so go ahead and work this one out, is equal to 2, but do it algebraically, guys. I don't want just the answer. So on this homework assignment, if you just give me answers, I'm not going to accept it. And if you want to rewrite it in a way that's clearer for you, I would do it. In fact, subtracting negatives is not my favorite thing to do, and it's not always clear.
He's adding a positive.
Okay, so if you want to think of it that way, I'm okay with that.
But it's right?
Huh?
You add 9.2, right.
You tell me. I don't know. Okay. How many of you are kind of confused with A minus negative 9.2? I am, because I don't like it. So I'm going to rewrite it as A plus opposite of negative 9.2. Okay, so sorry. So that it's at least simpler to see, to look at. Sorry, because the glare's coming up. So what's happening to A? It's being added with 9.2. What undoes adding of 9.2?
No, I messed it up.
Okay, so here we got to be careful.
I wrote down A plus negative.
All right, you get 2 minus 9.2. And if it's hard to see it that way, you can write it horizontally. 2 minus 9.2. Okay, you can do that. If you do plus 9.2, you're going to get 11.2, right? Yeah. Okay, so hold that answer. Keep it in your mind. I'm going to do it differently here. I'm going to subtract these, but stay change opposite. So I have two numbers with opposite signs. Some of you guys aren't hearing it over here, or you're distracting others from doing so. All right, I'm going to do 9.2 minus 2, right? Because you're doing adding opposite numbers. So I get 7.2. And is it positive or negative? Negative. Now, negative 7.2.
I didn't get that at all.
Okay, so here.
I did it. What if I didn't do the state change?
Sorry, raise your hand. Kaden?
So, why can you, it was 2 minus 9.2, but then you did 9.2 minus 2.
Yes, because, so it was 2 minus 9.2, right? So I did stay, change, opposite. And the reason is because I like adding better. You don't have to, but you're adding. But you're adding two numbers with opposite signs. So you take the larger absolute value, subtract the smaller absolute value. You got 7.2. And then which sign do I keep?
Negative.
The negative. So I got negative 7. Now, remember 11.2? So you're going to get on that quiz or test and you're like, sounds right? 11.2 sounds good. Negative 7.2, I don't know. Okay, ready? The reason we did what we did this weekend on the homework is because I want you to know for sure. In fact, I don't know if you guys can see their problems. Don't follow me, swivel.
But why can't
Yeah, okay. So here, I don't know if you can see, Colin, this is an equation, and they're showing me their steps, and they got their answer. And thankfully, Nelson got it right, and he also got that one right. In fact, every student in that class could know whether their answer was right or wrong. So Caroline, you could have known it, I could have known it, but how? Okay, ready?
Wait.
Hold on, guys, hold on. I'll come to you guys in just a minute. Was it 9.2?
Yep.
Okay, that was the problem, right? Do you guys remember doing this last night or this weekend? Okay, remember? Okay, you remember doing that? So you had to put that in to see if it works. Okay, so 11.2 minus negative 9.2 equals 2. So that's what you had to do. And you're like, stay, change, opposite, because that's hard to do. So you get 20.4 equals 2. And so what would you say?
False.
False, right? So is A 11.2?
No.
No, because it makes it false. Okay, so you're like, that didn't work. What did we get for our answer?
Negative 7.
Good, negative 7.2. Great, good, good, good. Okay, so then you get this problem, and you're like, all right, negative 7.2 minus negative 9.2 is equal to 2. I just hope I get it. What's stay, change, opposite? Okay, now we're adding two numbers with opposite signs. So I'm going to subtract 9.2 and 7.2, and I get 2.0. That's positive. Is 2.0 equal to 2?
Yes.
So you would write true. Every single problem tonight can be checked. You can know if you got it right or wrong if you check it. So that's your choice. You don't have to. Good luck. Okay, let's go here. I'll go with Ruth and I'll work my way here.
Alright, so I did not do stay change flip, and I just did negative 9.2 plus positive 9.2.
Negative 9.2 plus positive 9.2. Okay.
Can you do that?
Well, you got
And
A minus 0.
yeah, wait. Yes, because that equals 0, and so
But then what happens is you got 9.2 plus 2,
yeah.
and then you got 11.2.
Yeah, so but didn't I technically do the problem right?
Well, you did a correct step. Like you're allowed to add the same thing to both sides, but it didn't undo. So you just did this, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, you canceled that part out, but you still have this minus going on. So you didn't take care of it all, which is tough. Get rid of the signs, make them into easy addition or subtraction. Then you can finish it up.
Don't get it.
Yes, well, Dylan, then you.
Why is there I don't understand like what I kind of understand what I did wrong, but I don't
Awesome.
understand how it's wrong.
How about this? I'll look at it in just a moment. Everyone else do this problem here. All right, so this is R minus 3.01 equals negative 3.01. Do the same thing to both sides. Okay, sorry. This one?
This one,
Oh, sorry, this one.
I just added positive 9.2.
Yeah, but then you still have A minus something. Like that's, you still have a negative sign. This got canceled out, but you still have A minus something. And like,
Why does that make a difference that you have A minus?
actually, good point. Difference.
So I don't understand what you would do.
Because what was happening is A's not being subtracted by 9.2. That's the whole point. It's not being subtracted by 9.2. It's being subtracted by negative 0.92.
So
Do you agree with that?
You just do say change opposite.
Yeah, say change opposite will make it so clear. Yeah, so, yes ma'am.
Why is it a problem that we have the minus? Because would that be A minus 0
Yeah,
equals A?
yeah, that would seem like that's it. But what happens is like it's almost like you subtracted 9.2 twice. Like you did it. I gotta explain it to you by actually showing you like what's left over. So just don't do it. Do stay change opposite to make it easier, and then it makes it super clear. I'll show it to you. Yes, question.
I had a question about this.
Okay, go ahead.
Is 0 correct for
I don't know. Sammy,
No.
go. All right. What is happening to R? Camille.
So,
Sorry.
It's okay.
3.1 to be subtracted, R to less than.
Okay.
Is that a word?
you can say R is being subtracted by
Yeah.
3.1.
Being subtracted
3.01.
by 3.01.
What undoes subtracting of 3.01? Coal. What undoes subtracting 3.01? Adding 3.01. If I add 3.1.01 to both sides, I can undo what's happening here. What's R plus 0? R plus 0. And then what's negative 3.01 plus 3.11? Wait, you can't get an answer of 0. Yes, you can. That's the answer. And you're like, no, it's not. Ready? What's 0 minus 3.01? Negative 3.01. It fits. Okay. Yes, ma'am?
So that's what I did the first time. I just did positive 3.01 to both sides, and as he said it was wrong. So
When did I say that was wrong?
on this one, I just added positive.
No. That's a different problem. Your problem was this. Remember you had two negatives. That's not the same problem. I'm sorry that you thought I said that for that one. Okay, yes.
So you can have a problem that's pretty much like this, except for instead of an equal sign, you had like the little equal sign, with like a slash through it.
Oh, not equal
So
to?
it's not equal. So your answer would be R. It's not equal to 0.
Yes. And that happens. We will solve equations where we want to know not what R is, but what R is not. And that happens. And we will need to know that next year. Okay, let me write this problem down, then I'll get your questions. Next one for all of you. I don't think we did this one. Negative 2.4 plus C equals 7.2. Okay, Colin?
Can I talk to you after class?
You may. Yes.
Can you go,
Just come and see me.
if you can go back a slide?
I can. Let me make sure everyone writes this one down. So negative 2.4 plus C equals 7.2. Remember, I want to get C by itself, and I have to do something to both sides in order to do that. Yes, ma'am?
I thought you could still have a minus sign. You still have that minus sign.
Okay, here's what you have. Negative 3.01 plus 3.01. You're like, wait, I thought that was a subtraction sign. But it could also be a negative. So what's negative 3.01? I'll circle this. Plus positive 3.01. 0. That's what I cancel. I know I wish I could just show everything, like everything's being canceled out here and here. So you're left with R plus 0, which is just R.
Cross out the positive sign that's making it. Oh, he meant.
This one right here, you could. What's cool about positive is like, okay, I crossed it out, but is there still addition going on?
Yes.
Yeah, it's still there. But the minus signs, you got to treat them a little bit because they're negative, right? No. Okay, how about this? When you have the number 13, right? You're not thinking in your mind, oh, that means negative 13, right? You're not thinking that. You're thinking it means positive 13. So even though there's not a plus sign there, there could be, but the negative signs have to be there for it to be negative. Because if you don't put a negative sign, it's not negative. You can't just make it up. Yes, Mary Addison? Sorry, I gotta go back.
Can I walk you through this one?
You may. Go ahead.
Okay, so the opposite, so like to cancel out negative 2.4, you have to add positive 2.4.
So you add 2.4 to one side, you gotta do it to the... Awesome.
Which is 2 with 9.6.
Okay, sorry, what do you get here on the left?
0.
Plus,
C.
which is? Oh, huh?
And then 7.2 plus 2.4 is 9.6.
Mm-hmm. So that's my answer. That's all I'm sure. That's all I want you to show me where. And, and again, I probably start with this a lot. Can I get another problem and then I'll get your questions? Okay. Here's one. I hope you do well on it. Oh no, this is it. It's a tough one, guys. You may begin. Yes, ma'am.
That doesn't make sense to me because
The last problem?
Yeah, 2.4 plus 9.6 is negative 2.4.
No, I think she caught it. Yep. Okay, good. That's okay. You may need to speak your thoughts and then you got it. All right, this one's a little bit tougher because it's not as straightforward. So just, go ahead and work it out. And listen, if you get your answer, check it to see if it actually works. So your goal is to get, what does P equal? It equals something. And so you have to find that something by using algebra. And this is where the mind can get it for some of you, but it's starting to stretch you out a little bit. And if the mind gets stretched out in this one, this equation, you're good luck with all the negative signs.
So I got it.
Awesome.
When I didn't get it, but when I checked it, I saw what I did wrong, but I don't know why. Like, I know what the answer is, but I don't know how to get it.
Did you get the opposite of what it was?
Yeah.
Got it.
Hey.
I think I got this.
All right, here it is, guys. Look at the variable. So you spot the variable. This time it's on the right. That happens. It can go either way. Now listen, because some of you aren't going to get this when you get it again. Listen. Okay, so P is right here. And I'm like, all right, I got negative 9 minus P. So I want to get, my goal is to get the letter P by itself, all right? That's my whole goal. So you're like, I don't even know what to do. Well, can you get rid of a negative 9?
Yes.
Positive 9.
Yeah, just add 9 to both sides. Okay, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do that. And Ruth, this goes back to your question, because watch what happens. Okay, you get 12 plus 9 is 21. And then what's negative 9 plus 9? 0. Okay, 0. Now, what is 0 minus P?
Negative P.
It's negative P. So some of you got here and said, oh, P equals 21. Negative P equals 21. What does positive P?
I did that way wrong.
Negative 12.
So it should be negative 21. All right.
Actually, Mr. A, I did the whole thing wrong. I didn't even get close to that.
Oh, okay. That's. All right. Look at it here now. I'm going to go with this. You're on the quiz, and Mr. A gave you this awful problem, and you're wondering. Oh. And you're probably wondering, I hope I got it right. No, you can know if you got it right or wrong. Okay. I'm going to see if that really is, I'm going to see if this is my answer. Because that's a common answer. 12 equals negative 9 minus 21. Isn't that it?
No.
Isn't that what you put in there?
Sure.
Right? Okay. What's negative 9 minus 21?
No. That's not right.
Is that true?
No,
that's not it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to put the actual, what did we say, negative 21?
Yeah.
All right, so ready? I'm going to put it in. Okay, that's the problem, right? Everything's written out. All right, but you're like, stay, change, opposite. What's 21 minus 9?
12.
That's the only one that works. That's the only one that works. 21 looks good, but it's not right. It's negative 21. Yes, ma'am?
Did you do that actual problem again? Because it's still wrong.
Yep. Actually, you know what? I'm done.
I got 21 at first. I got redid and got 3.
I got 3. I got 2.
Colin, what do I do first on this problem? And guys, we're having a little bit of trouble. Some of you are talking too much, and you're not going to get it. That's sad for you, but then you're also distracting others. Colin, what do you do first on this to solve it? So we got that answer, but how did I get to it?
I couldn't hear because people were talking.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? I'm sorry about that. I apologize as a teacher. I'm going to correct that. The next person who talks without permission, you will get more homework, and I get to talk to you after class. Because listen, if everyone didn't care but Colin, I'm doing this for him. But I'm guessing there's some others of you who are like, I can't even hear. Guys, show love to one another by not talking when it's not time. Because I know things are funny and all that, but save it for lunch, which is not too far. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 9 to both sides. I'm going to add 9. Am I allowed to do that if I have my balance beam? Yes. Yeah, because I add 9 here, and I add the same thing here. I keep it balanced. What's negative 9 plus 9?
0.
0. Okay, so this is what I get. 12 plus 9 is 21. What's 0 minus P?
Negative P.
negative p. 0 minus p is negative p. And that's hard. It's really, okay, so here's what I put. Because Caroline, I know that's not easy. 0 minus p, we said, right? All right, but stay, change, opposite. That's the identity property right there. What's 0 plus anything? It's that thing. So that's what I get. Oh. 21 equals negative p, because this equals negative p. And then I don't want to know what negative p is. I want to know what positive p is. So then it's just the opposite, negative 21. That's how I got it. So that's a tough one. I get it. Yes, ma'am.
Why do you have to do 0 minus?
No, you didn't have
Or
to.
where do you get the 0 from?
What's negative 9 plus 9?
Oh, okay.
So that's how I got it. And you don't have to show me all that, but I'm just trying to justify it.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
we never did p minus 0 before. Why do we have to do it now?
No, this is 0 minus p. I know that. It's because this is a weird problem, because you have that negative p. That's why it's weird. So it's...
Is that the problem with like the negative and minus we're seeing?
Yeah. Okay, you can think of it, yeah. And it is. Last problem. If you can get this, you can get your homework. Yes, ma'am?
Why can't, so it's negative p equals 21, but why did you change
The other side?
negative 21 equals positive?
That's a great question. I got to answer that. 21 equals negative p. Okay, negative p means negative or minus, but also means opposite of, right? So the opposite of p equals 21. So what does just p equal? Well, what's the opposite of 21?
Negative.
It's like you're going back and forth. The opposite of p equals 21. So positive p equals negative 21. It's the best way I could do. Okay. It's just opposites. You're switching the signs on both. Yeah, I'm going to reduce it, but you do have it. Oh, time out. That's not official bell. 2 more minutes. Here's your homework. No, not 2. I switched it. 6 through 16 even. And that's pages 77, 78. So you guys are going to do that, but guys, I don't want just answers. If you just give me, p equals 5. Awesome, it's wrong. I'm marking it wrong. You got to show me your work. Justify. All right, Swivel. Have a good day.